How's it going, friends? It's been a while since I made a video. Today I want to talk about my number one piece of advice for those who are getting on testosterone replacement therapy that's going to save them a lot of pain. And it's also a piece of advice that applies to those who have tried to manipulate the protocol to feel good, and no matter what they do, they just feel like crap all the time, which does happen. I see it, plenty of times, people posting on Reddit that they can't get things dialed in. And there's a blaringly obvious reason for most of those people as to why they don't feel good. Quick update on me, though, in case you care at all. I've had some serious medical problems for about 4 months. Then for the past month, I've had COVID. So for about 5 months, I've been kind of wasting away in bed. I've gone from 220 pounds, fat and happy, to 180 pounds, and I haven't been working out in a long time. But I seem to be almost over COVID, and so hopefully this is the end of this shitty long road I've been on, and I can make some more videos. So without further ado, my number one tip for you guys, if you're getting on testosterone replacement therapy, is to put your ego aside and start low with your dose. A lot of people starting out don't really think about estrogen management. And estrogen management is a big pain in the caca if you're not careful. So you'll notice a lot of TRT clinics will have a cookie cutter protocol of 200 milligrams per week and a sprinkle of an AI. And I think the reason why so many TRT clinics use this protocol is because it actually works. And I think it makes their clients feel really good because their testosterone is well above range, and they knock their estradiol down into a reasonable range, which is very easy to do when you're on a high dose of testosterone. It's a lot harder to manipulate estrogen into a good range with an aromatase inhibitor when your total testosterone dose is relatively low. That's just how it works in regards to testosterone to estrogen ratio. Problem with this is, is it sustainable or not? Are there long-term negative consequences from using an AI for your entire life? It's possible. This is kind of an age-old debate. But besides that, there are well-known risks of having a testosterone well above range for extended periods of time. You can develop BPH, an enlargement of the prostate. You can develop left ventricular hypertrophy. And the whole point of testosterone replacement therapy shouldn't be to max out your alpha status and how you feel. You shouldn't be feeling like you want to hump a doorknob 24/7. The point is symptom relief. And I think a lot of people miss that. Once they hop on testosterone replacement therapy, they start wanting to push higher and higher and higher and higher. And I've made that mistake too. And I found that it took a long time before I set my ego aside, lowered my dose, and I finally felt good. So the reason why I bring this up is because I almost exclusively see people posting on Reddit who are having problems. It's always because their dose is too high. I never, ever see someone who's coming onto Reddit posting, I feel like garbage on TRT, why is it? And it turns out their dose is too low. It almost never happens. So what happens if your dose is too high? You can have insomnia. You can develop gynecomastia or bitch tits. You can have greasy skin, extremely bad acne. You can be very moody. You can be very bitchy. You can be hard to be around. You can have night sweats. You can hold on to a lot of water. You can have high blood pressure. High blood pressure can put stress on your kidneys as well as your heart. So there's a lot of problems that are associated with too much testosterone. On the flip side, if your levels are too low, your levels are already low if you're getting on testosterone replacement therapy. And odds are, if you start at somewhere reasonable, like 100 milligrams per week, you're not going to go lower than where you started. And when you start with low testosterone, you feel like garbage, any improvement is good. So if you start 100 milligrams per week, let's say before you start TRT, your total testosterone is 300 nanograms per deciliter. You start on 100 milligrams per week, and somehow, which is unlikely, you only increase your total testosterone by 100 nanograms per deciliter. So now you went from 300 to 400. That, in my opinion, is an improvement. You're on TRT for 6 weeks. You increase your total testosterone by 100 nanograms per deciliter. It's not where you want to be in the end. You want to be a little bit higher than that probably, but it is an improvement from where you started. And it's a lot easier to look at your numbers and see 400. Okay, let's titrate my dose up a little bit. I'm not experiencing any horrible symptoms, and I'm not in a panic. So let's just do a little titration of my dose upwards. To see if I can get myself into a better range where I feel even better. As compared to the flip side, when you start on 200 milligrams per week, let's say without an AI, and your levels go through the roof, you have insomnia, you're having panic attacks, you're having anxiety, you're having night sweats, you're having gynecomastia. It's all very in your face right now. What is happening? I need to solve this. And logic does not find itself easily in a panic. So you start panicking and trying to figure out how you can manipulate your dose. How can you manipulate your AI so that you feel good? Are my levels too high? It's a lot more scary of a situation when your testosterone is too high than when it's quote unquote too low. And I've learned this from experience. Like, I'm always like, I'm only like 800. Maybe I want to be like 950. But once I finally accepted that, like, I just don't, my mood's not great. I just feel bitchy and irritable and my sleep isn't great. I said, screw it. Let's get myself down into a lower dose and just see how that feels. And to be honest with you, I feel way better with my total testosterone in 650 to 750 range than it ever did from 900 or 1300. And some people can tolerate their testosterone that high. I can't. So my advice to you is to start low and work your way up. Oh, and because I know people are going to ask personally what I think is a good starting point, and you can talk to your doctor about this, but I think 100 milligrams per week split into 2 doses is a great starting point. From there, you can titrate your dose up if you need to, titrate it down if you need to, or start splitting your injections into more or less frequent depending on how you handle it. I think people starting on more than 100 milligrams per week are probably going to be putting themselves up for the possibility of high estrogen side effects. It's not for everybody. It's very individual. Your body's going to react individually to a given dosage. That's why we can't all be on a specific dosage and all feel exactly the same. That's just not how it works. So I personally think 100 milligrams is a great starting point, but of course your doctor's opinion might differ. And I think we both know who to listen to. It's probably the person who went through med school and not some random guy on YouTube. So just my opinion. See you guys next time. Bye.